So I'm rolling the pasta dough here. I started filming after I'd already made the dough. So I'll probably do another video soon enough where I show you how I make pasta dough. I'm using the KitchenAid pasta roller, which I really like. I've gone through other ones. I've done the pinwheel. I've used the old crank wheel, but really like the KitchenAid. And I'm turning the pasta into fettuccine. So what I'm doing here is I'm trimming it. Got like my trim pile on the side. As you can see, I was already making some pasta before I started filming. And then in that plastic wrap, I have the leftover dough, so I'm gonna roll that out in a moment. I put flour on it before I cut it because it prevents it from clumping together. I don't actually see people doing that. I've never really seen that in like an instructional, like a book or on any website or anything like that. But I think it makes a big difference. So now I'm cutting it, and I just use an old, like a little pinwheeler. You can use a long knife. You can use, they have actually rollers with multiple wheels. Those are pretty cool. The way I do it, it's never really going to be perfect. You know, it's not going to be, they're going to be all different sizes slightly, but I like that. It's easy. I like the fun of making pasta. You know, it's meditative. And so I'm cutting it into strips here. And I use a pasta, like a drying rack. And you don't really need to if you're gonna cook all of your pasta right away, but I usually save about half of my pasta because I'm just cooking for my wife and I. And so the drying rack lets it dry out before I throw it in the freezer. This is how I pick it up. I just kind of scoop it up with the knife and put it right on the rack. It's like that. Then I spread it out afterwards. Really easy. I love homemade pasta. It's great. I'm making my pasta I made it's a egg, double O, and semolina flour mix, which I know to some people that's like, how could you do that, you know, but I don't know, I love the texture of semolina, and I love how the egg gives it this like silkiness. So yeah, I know people, they do one or the other, they use semolina or egg double O, but I do both. And so as you could see, if you were paying attention, I probably should have said it while it was happening. I was folding it on the lowest setting. And then once it reached the right consistency, I just make it thinner and thinner and keep rolling it through until it reaches a 5 on the KitchenAid. That's what I generally go for with noodles. Thin enough that you can just see through it. Because it's gonna expand when you cook it. So just trimming the edges again, getting flour on both sides. Okay, you don't have to do this, but it really does prevent a lot of sticking. And I don't mind all the trimmings, you know, some people, they want to save all of their pasta, but you make so much in one batch. And anyways, like if you want, you can, that pile of trimmings, you can just roll that up at the end and make some more pasta. Okay, so look at the knife. You see I can just see through the sheet of pasta. Yeah, that's a good thickness for noodles. So now I'm grating the cheese. I've got pecorino Romano right there. Next I'm gonna grab the Parmesan and just getting a lot of it grated before I make the sauce rather than grating it directly into the sauce. So I can really focus on emulsifying it and preventing it from clumping in the hot, you know, pasta liquid. Need a lot of cheese. And a lot of salt. You gotta salt your pasta water, guys. That's really important. Throwing it in, you can see I used about half of it, or just under. The rest of it I'm gonna throw in the freezer and save. And I boil my pasta for about a minute and a half. You don't need to cook fresh pasta for very long. Honestly, I probably could have cooked it for a little less because I ended up finishing it in that pan right next to it. See all that starch coming out? That's all that flour I put on it. Mix it up a little bit so it doesn't stick together. Probably used a little too much water too, honestly, because if you use too much water, your pasta water has less starch in it. It's diluted. If you saw a moment ago, I threw a little bit of butter in the pan, which is not at all what I think a true Cacio e Pepe aficionado would be offended by that. And I've done it without the butter. You don't have to put butter. Putting butter in it makes it like a Cacio e Pepe / Alfredo crossover. But I like adding a little butter before, just a little bit, so it emulsifies a little bit before I add the cheese. Because really, Cacio e Pepe and Alfredo, like a true Alfredo with butter and not cream, the whole point of it is you're emulsifying fat, right? So the butter emulsifies really well, whereas the grated cheese, if you just throw that in with the pasta water, with a little bit of pasta water, and some of the pasta water carries over. That's why I don't use a strainer. I just pick it up and put it in the other pan so that it carries over the pasta water. But if you just do cheese first, you're more likely to have it kind of clump up, and it's not going to emulsify as nicely as if it already has some fat in it. So that's why I add a little bit of butter, just a little bit. Add some pepper, mix it up. And there you go. Put in the plate and add a little bit of more pepper on top. Sababa.